Okay, just having a look at an example of trading options on oil. It's very easy. Oil's one of the best ones to trade options on, believe it or not. People get freaked out when you even mention the word of options, but they're really not difficult to understand if you just take a bit of time to get to know what they're about. It took me quite a while to get to understand options. It was only when I started putting it into practice on a demo account that I really understood what they were about and how easy they are to use. When I read books about them, I found the books very confusing. So as I always do, I have to find out for myself and just put it into practice, and then I get it then. And pretty sure that's going to be the case for most people. Most people I talk to, they say, "Oh no, options are no good." And I say, "Have you ever used them?" "Oh no, I've never used them, but I've heard they're no good." Okay, fair enough. All right, well, that's as far as I'm going to go with you on that. If you have that attitude, then you're never going to be able to have that attitude that it's not going to work. Then there's no point in going any further with it with you. But so I don't get into arguments about it. I've learnt the hard way trying to tell people about options, and what can I say? So I'm not here to force people to do anything. I'm just here to share what I do. If somebody picks up what I'm saying, great. If they don't, fine. Suit yourself. So this is options, the daily 4 hour. So as we can see, we're well above the Kumo on the daily. We're in an uptrend here. We've had some consolidations here. This is a consolidation here. This is a consolidation. And this is also a consolidation. So you can have consolidations that are above the trender, below the trender, on the trender like that. But if it was to break below the Kijunsen, then it's no longer a consolidation, then it's a counter trend at that point. But while it's in this condition, it's a consolidation. So once it breaks out of the consolidation, it becomes trending again. So if you don't understand basic price action, then you're not going to be able to do any good at trading. So that's the first thing you've got to know is price action. I ask people, people say to me, I know how to trade. I say, okay, show me an example of price action then without any indicators on the chart. They haven't got a clue in most cases. They'll tell me, oh, this is trending. I say, yeah, and what else? Where's the consolidation? Oh, it's trending. It's trending. They go, it's trending. I said, this is a consolidation here. Do you know what So people might think they know price action, but they really don't have a clue in a lot of cases. That's where they've been having problems. They thought they knew, but the problem is they didn't know what they didn't know, and that's the case I find with most people. So enough about that now. So we know we have a clear entry here and we're looking at the fundamentals as well. We know we had a clear entry for calls here. So we go to the short-term template now. That was our entry there, 1550-ish, around that area. And we were above the Kumo on this side. So we had the entry, and the exit was, I can take the exit when the 4-hour MACD crosses down, which is here, but my short-term exit is actually here, but I don't have to, that's where my stop was here, but at the time my stop was here, I don't have to let it hit my stop. I can take that exit accordingly because it's below the trender, right? And if it goes on to rally again from here, I can just re-enter again with options. You don't want to muck around. You want to take your profit as soon as when the 4-hour MACD crosses down. You want to get out because you might find it hard to get out of an option. So you don't muck around, and then you get back into it again if you get a valid entry again. But with options, you don't want to be. By the time most people wake up to what's going on, you want to be well gone from there. And so that's my short-term template. But you might not have my short-term template. You might only have my intraday template if you're just starting with my method. Can you swing trade with my intraday template? Yes, you can on the hourly. So it's very easy. Your entries here is the same entry as what I showed on the short-term template. Same entry, right? slightly different, 59.50, and this is 59. Okay, so anywhere, so you can enter anywhere here, right? So we're just saying for interest's sake. So this was a bit better entry that I got on this short intraday. This intraday template, I got a bit better entry than what I would have got on the. That's my entry there on the short-term template right there. This is where I got in on the intraday template because I had my conditions there for an entry. Right above the, now when you're swing trading with the intraday template, swing trading is your entries here. Right, now see how price stayed above the red centre line, never closed. It dipped below the centre line here, but never closed below. And now here it's closed below the centre line. And where's the exit is here on this side? Because why? Because the MACD has crossed now below the centre line. So that's all. So that's a swing trade using my intraday template. Right? Is that hard to understand? I don't think so. I could teach an 8-year-old kid who's never traded before, I could teach them how to use this. Trading's only as complicated as you want to make it. This method's not difficult to use, right? So it's only as difficult as you want to make it. It's very simple. The rules are very simple. So how people can not understand this, I don't really know, because it's, to me, this is as easy as falling off a log. But then I've been looking at this for a long time, and I've to somebody who's brand new to it, it probably looks very daunting. I don't doubt it, but you've got to just get started on it. Stop making excuses. Just get stuck in and start using it, and you'll soon get the hang of it. Right? So this is the options chain. So barchart.com, and you put in you just put in bar chart and oil options chain in Google, and you'll come up with it. It'll come up on this page, I'm pretty sure. It'll come up bar chart, and this is in futures, right? And you've got to have a look at all these. You've got options and quotes, you've got volatility in Greeks, you've got a whole heap of stuff you can look at. Commodity news info, it's got a really good site, this one. You've got Forex, you've got crypto, you've got a lot of interesting. Have a look at all these and see what they all are. Right, to begin with, this is what we. So when I entered the trade, right, I selected the May expiry. So that was when I got in this $59 at the money. So this is at the money now, but when I got into the trade, the calls were at the money at $59 at the time. So you don't want to go for an expiry that's too far out. You want to go for about a month or 2 months tops, because the further out you go, the more expensive the calls are going to be. So you want to go for about a month out, and the calls are reasonable price then. Now, see how far it is in the money now. Well, it's now way up here, 364. So you always go for at the money. So if you're going to go for puts, right, at the moment, I'm not saying I'm not going for puts at the moment, but if I was, and if I did get a bearish entry on oil, right, that'd be 62.50. That'd be at the money for puts then. So the premium is $1.05 at 62.50. So calls are for bullish, puts are for bearish. That's all you need to know, and you always go for at the money, and you go for 1 or 2 months to expiry. This has still got. I've exited this option now, these options, and it's still got 13 days to expiry. So that's what I'm saying. You want to go for. It takes a bit of experience to get to know when you're going to be. But obviously, if you go 2 months out to expiry, then the options are going to cost you more. That's all. And maybe unnecessary to pay that much for it. You might only need 1 month to expiry or something like that. So just play around with it. Just to do a demo like this, just say I would have got in here and the options would have been this much, and then see where your exit, were they in them, how far in the money were they. So that's the idea of how options work. You're not exercising options or anything, you're just using you're flipping them for the premium. That's what you're doing. So if you want to get more advanced and you look at straddles, calendar spreads and whatever, you go to CME Group, cmegroup.com, and they've got a bit more advanced like calendar spreads and more exotic options trades. But to start with, you want to just look at the basic vanilla calls and puts. Don't start trying to do straddles to begin with, because it'll be too confusing and it's not really necessary anyway. So just get the idea of that and see how you go to begin with. I don't know what else I can say. It's not really very hard to do. So the only thing you've got to understand with options is the options don't necessarily, they don't correspond with the underlying price. So it's takes a bit of getting used to see, but you've got to follow it. You've got to follow the price to see how much the price moved and how much the options moved, and you'll get an idea of what's going on with it. But you really got to see it for yourself. It's not hard, and then you can go to the Investopedia. I've done a video about using options on a demo on Investopedia. That's changed. The site's changed slightly since then, but it's still you'll get the idea from my video still of how to do it, of how to set it up and everything. It's not hard to work it out, and then you can actually trade options on a demo account. But this is just to get you started, just to have a look at it, to play around with and whatever. And that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.